Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start class 7th SST, part Civics, chapter number 1, Democracy and Equality, part 2. In the previous topic, we had read a lot of about the different the government, the democratic government that were earlier exist. Yes, we can say that it was not the exact form of democracy, but some of the features that democracy exists, it was there in those stories which we had read in the previous video. Now, in this video, we will read about the other form of government basically. So, there is three type of government. The first one is democracy that we had already read in the previous video, and you have already read in your previous classes as well. Like, democracy is a form of government in which the representatives are elected by the people of the state. Means that democracy is a form of government in which the representatives are chosen by the people through the election, and these representatives will work for the betterment of those people. Now, there is another form of government that is known as monarchy form of government. In this kind of government, the king is the everything, and in the monarchy system, the king has the absolute powers, and sometimes he is held by his council of ministers. So basically, the king is everything. The king decision is superior. Yes, he can take the help of council of minister on some topic, but the last decision is only done by the king only. So, monarchical system is another is that we cannot choose our king. It is a hierarchical form of government. It means that where the king higher or the prince will become the king. So this is the kind of government where we don't have any option to choose. So this is the monarchical form of government. Now, dictatorship. What is dictatorship? So dictatorship is also another form of government in which one person or group of person is called dictator, and they assume all the powers and rules according to his or her own wish. Means they do not need any support, they do not ask from their ministers, or they do not have the ministers that they can ask, or they do not chosen by the people. Somehow they manage to coup over the government and captured the government and have the all powers regarding taking all the decisions. So they do not need any kind of suggestion from others. They do everything by their own. So in the history there were a lot of names like Hitler, Napoleon, General Pervez Musharraf from Pakistan. So they were a lot of people, those who were dictate their nation and rule their nation. So basically, this is the three type of government: the democracy, the monarchy, or the dictatorship. Now let us move to the other topic. The topic is types of democracy. So what are the types of democracy? So basically it is two types. One is direct democracy and second one is indirect democracy or representative democracy. So what is direct democracy? So direct democracy is a form of democracy where the citizen directly participate in the affair of the government. So they have the right to direct interference in the affair of the government, like Switzerland. So because this direct democracy is only possible in those areas which are small in areas where less population is found. So it is only possible in those areas. Now, indirect democracy or representative democracy. So this kind of democracy is the where people choose their representative through election and form the government. Means in India, in our country, we have the indirect democracy form of government or representative form of government. We choose our representative through election, and those representatives will work for us. Elections are held at regular interval, means that elections are held in regular interval. In every 5 years we conduct elections. Why we conduct election? Because no one can make its supremacy. For this purpose we conduct election, and we get the chances to choose or change our representative through the election. If somebody is not working well, so indirect democracy provide us right to change our representative. Now, all citizens of country without any discrimination are allowed to take part in election. So everybody is allowed to take part instead of their caste, creed, gender, religion. They all have right to take part in election. Also, we have the equal right to choosing the government. Means that we have the equal right. We can choose our government by our own decision. It is not interfered by others, that the decision is to be taken by itself, on. Now there is another topic, democracy and equality. So there is a story there is some news given in above, like the daughter of an auto rickshaw driver in the Mumbai topped the chartered accountancy examination. Another news, the daughter of very poor farmer becomes the first doctor of a village. Next, a poor newspaper vendor get admission into very famous management institute in Kolkata. Next, girls score more than boys in CBSE All India examination. Next, a talented cricketer from the tribal community has been selected to play for the Team India. So these are the news. Okay, why did you notice that the daughter of an auto rickshaw? So this statement shows that the people who is at the very lower level, means instead of income basis, economic inequality, his daughter is get the chance to top the chartered accountancy exam. And one more, very poor farmer's daughter become the first doctor of the village. So in spite of their caste, in spite of economic equality, in spite of social status, belonging from some scheduled caste or either tribal community, they all have right to get the equal opportunity in all the aspects. So this is the equality in the democracy. So only the democratic form of government is providing these kind of equality. So basically, what is equality? Let us see. So equality is most important because it preserves the dignity of an individual. What is the meaning of dignity? Dignity means self-respect, and the respect an individual deserves from others for being a fellow human being. Means that everybody is equal, and everybody has to get the same kind of respect from each other. So this is the equality. So basically, when we say that there is no discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, religion, sex or gender, that is the equality. Any boy or girl from any part of the country can become a doctor or engineer, or if she has a talent, enough talent, right talent. Means that if they are talented, if they have the knowledge of that sector, so they can become the head of those sectors. So this is the equality that is provided by the democracy. So on the basis of their race, caste, gender, economic, they are not to be discriminated, and this guaranteed only by the democratic form of government. Like during election, all the citizens of India are allowed to vote. Everybody, whosoever is there in India, without their restriction of their basis of the caste, creed, religion, gender, they all have right to give the vote to the to their representative. Okay, so this the giving vote is all known as universal adult franchise. This you know very well. Now let us see, there are some kind of equality that is present in the democracy. The first, it is given the political equality. What is political equality? In democracy, all the adult citizens of a country have right to vote. Means whosoever is there, they have the right to vote. Adult citizen. Basically, in India, it is decided 18-year age, that whosoever is 18 year or above 18-year age, they have right to vote instead of their caste, creed, gender, religion, economic equality or social equality, inequality. So they have the right to vote. So this is called the universal adult franchise. So this is the example of political equality. Means that everybody is equal for the political purpose. Now move to the religious equality. Religious equality means that the people belonging to all religion are treated equally. Means that the people belongs to any of the religion, whether they belongs to Christianity, whether they belongs to Hinduism, Islam or Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism, whatever the religion is there, they all are treated equally. And the government also cannot discriminate against anyone on the basis of the religion. Every religion have equal importance, and the festival of all the religions are celebrated with equal respect. Means that every religion have right to celebrate their own function by their own festival by their own. Means that they have the equal opportunity for showing their religious activity or celebrating their religious activity. So this is the religious equality of the democracy. Now economic equality. So what is economic equality? Is the equality in which the equal opportunity for everybody to earn a livelihood. Means that everybody, those who belongs to any caste, creed, gender or any of the race, they all have right to get the livelihood. First thing is that. Second, the workers will not be exploited by their employers. Means that the workers who are working in factory, who are working in any other industries, they cannot be employed, they cannot be exploited on the basis of their caste, gender, education or any other aspects. They cannot be discriminated or exploited. Or even farmers will also not be exploited by the landlords. Means that landlords cannot do by his own wish. Means they cannot make them forcefully to work on their field. They cannot, whatever the work they do, on that basis they provide the wages to all those people, those who are working in their fields. And it also means equal pay for equal work. Means that everybody will get the same kind of money for the equal. Like earlier time, women were not given the same money that the counterpart of their male workers. So this economic equality also gives the chance to get the equal money, equal wages for the equal work, whether they belong to the particular community, whether they belong from the particular gender. So this is the economic equality that is provided by the democracy. Now move to the social equality. Social equality is what? Social equality means all the citizens living in the society have equal rights to visit all the places of a country, such as playground, hotel, shop, market, well, road, toilets, etc. Means that earlier time it was not possible. When the society was divided into caste, so upper caste do not let the lower caste to be enter in their houses, in the wells they are using, in the temple. Many more places they were not allow them. But nowadays, because of the democracy, it is possible. Everybody is allowed to use all those things, is allowed to enter, is allowed to visit those places without any restriction. So nowadays all people are treated equally and have the equal right and the duties. It's not like that people is belonging from some caste or some group, they are not allowed to get the chance or get the opportunity to do anything. They are allowed to do anything, they are allowed to visit any place, and they are allowed to open any of the shop or market. In India, laws of the country recognize everybody is equal. In India, there is several laws that stated that every citizen of India is equal. Discriminatory practices such as untouchability has been abolished and punishable by the law. Means that whatever the discriminatory practices in our past that are abolished by the government, by the democracy, means that nobody is to be going to be practice these kind of discriminatory practices. If anybody is found doing or facing these kind of discrimination, inequality, they have get the chance to report against them, and also they get the chance to get the fair justice if anybody is doing or anybody is making him or feeling him discriminate on the caste basis, gender basis, or other basis. So this is the social equality that is provided by the democracy. Now moving to the marginalization. So what is marginalization? So marginalization is what? When a particular social group is forced to live on the fringe rather than in the mainstream is called marginalization. So means that some particular groups are not allowed to live with the mainstream. They are not allowed to mix with the mainstream. Basically, mainstream means the common people, those who are living in the society, they are not allowed to mix. In earlier time, many of the community or they belong from the different community, they were not allowed to mix up with the mainstream. Like upper caste did not allow the lower caste to mix with them. They do not allow to do their work. Many more things were there, and these people were not even allowed to get the equal economic status or equal education. So because of all these things, they were going back and back, means they do not get the chance to uplift themselves, and those people are still back in the society, and those groups were known as marginalized groups. And the people, those who are facing this kind of discrimination or the separation of the mainstream, that is the marginalization. So people who belongs to the upper class or dominant class, they have treated the subordinate class unfairly, resulting in huge inequality in the society. So the upper class or the dominant class did not allow the lower class to uplift themselves. So because of it, there is a huge inequality between the upper class and the lower class. They have been subjected to social, economic, and religious inequality and tremendous oppression by the dominant class. Means that they were not allowed to go into the temple, they were not allowed to use the well that is used by the upper class. They are not allowed to enter in the upper class houses. They cannot touch any of the things of that belongs to the upper class. So there were so many practices that were practiced in the earlier time, but due to the democracy, everything is been removed. So let us see what are the groups which are belongs to the marginalization, those who do not get the chance to mix with the mainstream, like scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, women, children, person with disabilities, migrants, and aged people. So these are the people, those who are known as the marginalized group. They do not get the enough chance to uplift themselves and mix with the mainstream. Now, there were so many social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Dayanand Saraswati, Jyotiba Phule, and many others. They raised their voice against the discriminative practices that prevalent in the society. Means there were so many reformers, and many more reformers are there that is not mentioned over here. There were so many reformers, those who raised the voice against these kind of discriminative practices like sati system, dowry, or widow remarriage. There were lot of things, untouchability. There were lot of things that were practiced earlier in society, but nowadays everything it has been removed, and even everything it is made as a punishable offense. Like if somebody is doing all those things, they can get the punishment by the law of the land. So this is the marginalization. Okay, do you think that this inequality is only belongs to the India, or it only happened in India only? No, this kind of inequality or discrimination, it happened all over the part of the world. Here we are going to read two stories. One story belongs to Myanmar, Burma basically, and now it is known as Myanmar, and another one is US or the America. Now let us start with the Burma or Myanmar. Aung San Suu Kyi, she was a Burmese politician. She is a Burmese politician, diplomat, author, and a 1991 Nobel Prize winner, and the leader of the National League for Democracy, and played a vital role in the state's transition from military government to the partial democracy. So she is a politician, she is an author, diplomat, and she also won a Nobel Prize for Nobel Peace Prize in 1991. All those things are the features of the Aung San Suu Kyi. She is also the leader of National League Democracy, and she is the person who shifted the military government to the democratic form of government in the Myanmar. Now, Aung San Suu Kyi entered in field of politics in 1988. When she returned to Myanmar, she entered in the politics of 1988 when she saw that the military government was there in the Myanmar. On 26 August 1988, Suu Kyi addressed a 500,000 people at a mass rally in support of democratic government that had been overthrown by the military government called Junta. So this Junta is there, and that military government has overthrown, means they have removed the democratic form of government which was earlier exist in the Myanmar. So the people, those who are in the support of democratic government, they were arranged a rally in then 500,000 people were there, and Suu Kyi was there, and she addressed, means influence all the people for the democratic government and make them aware that the democratic government should be there in the Myanmar and this military government should be thrown. In September 1988, Suu Kyi formed a National League for Democracy and became its general secretary. So this was the time when she formed one party that is National League for Democracy and become its general secretary. Now, due to protests in July 1989, Suu Kyi placed house arrest. So when she started protesting against the military government, she was kept as a house arrest in July 1989. Now the next year, when in 1990s elections were held, and the Suu Kyi was not allowed to contest in the election, but her party won many seats. But the military government refused to recognize the result of election. Means that they were not allowed to form the government of that is won by the National League for the Democracy. Now, in 1991, she was awarded as a Nobel Peace Prize, but she was not freed from house arrest. So this was time when she was not able to receive the award. In behalf of her son went to achieve receive the award of the Nobel Prize. Again, in 1995, due to the pressure of various countries of the world, Suu Kyi was freed from the house, but her movement was restricted. So, from the various countries, the pressure is there on the Myanmar government, and because of it, in 1995, Aung San Suu Kyi was released from her house arrest, but she was not allowed to participate in any kind of movement. In 2009, a United Nations body declared her detention illegal under the Myanmar's own law. So again, before 2009 she was house arrested, but United Nations helped the Aung San Suu Kyi to free from her house arrest. So finally in 2010 she was get free from the house arrest, and in 2012 she contested an election and became the member of the parliament. So basically this story is like that. There is not only the discrimination and inequality in the India only, it is in the other countries also. So here, when it was earlier, it was democratic form of government, but military coup was there by the junta, and after that, after a long battle, Aung San Suu Kyi is able to make the democratic kind of government possible in the Myanmar. Now, move to the next story, that is Martin Luther King Jr. So, Martin Luther King Jr. led the movement against the racial discrimination. Means that Martin Luther King Jr. he faced a racial discrimination. Means that in America, when the white people were living over there, and these people were discriminating against the black and white. So the first incident that was faced by the Martin Luther King, that was when his white neighbors refused let him play with their voice. Means that this was the first discrimination that he faced, that the neighbors did not allow him to play with him. One more incident, when he was traveling with his teacher, when driver asked them to stand up and let the two white people to have their seats, and after this he decided to fight against such injustice. So this was the one more incident that he faced, that he did not allow to sit in the bus when two whites arrived, and the drivers asked them to stand up for giving the seats to the those white people. So Martin Luther King Jr. thought that why this discrimination is there, and after this incident he started fighting against the racial discrimination. So these kind of events were common in US, and the dark skinned people or the black people faced many discrimination and were denied from all the rights. So for this purpose, Martin decided to fight for their rights and become the leader of civil rights movement. So Martin Luther King becomes the leader of civil rights movement, in which he fought with the white people to get the grants for the civil rights to the black people also. So finally he was succeed in doing all those things and become the leader of civil rights movement, and this shows that the discriminatory system is not only found in India, it is also found in the other part of the world like US as well. So now nowadays people, whether they are black or white, they started living together, and they do not have any kind of discrimination among them. So this was the another form that we can understand. The democracy is to be made for the all people, those who belong to any part of the any part of the world. It is for the every people. So the chapter is over. If you have any confusion regarding this chapter, you can comment in it. I will solve the problem. Thank you. We'll meet in the next video with the history chapter number 1. Thank you.